Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome to my card video. This week I did some kid tags for presents with my Furry Folks stamp set from Stampin' Up. So I created 4 different versions, each with a different animal. You can see them all right there. And I'm going to show you how to make the raccoon one. So I first cut out 2 sizes with the Spellbinders labels. I can't remember the number, I'll have it on my blog. And I used my foam applicator and some Stampin' Up! Tempting Turquoise ink, and I inked it up, being really careful not to rub the ink from my craft mat onto the back of my tag, because I'm going to use the back to put the to and from name on it. So I'm going to clean off my craft mat and take my envelope pattern stamp set, or background stamp from Hero Arts. I'm going to ink that up with the same color. I'm just going to drop it on there and take a scrap sheet and rub it on there really well. And now I've got my raccoon, which I'm stamping with Memento ink, and this is all on Nina cardstock. And if you ever have a question about my supplies, I have a list on my blog with links to buy if you wanted to purchase them. Okay, so I'm using my Stamp-A-Jig to stamp on this teeny little cupcake. It's called, I think, Bitty something. I'll have it on my blog. Anyway, so when I was doing all these animals, I was like, I went through my stamp sets and came out with these little tiny things, and that's what I use for all the different tags. The Happy Birthday to You came from the Up, Up and Away stamp set from Stampin' Up. And again, I'm using my Stamp-A-Jig to make sure that I get it lined up just right. And I actually adhered it to my craft mat so it wouldn't move. Okay, so here I am doing the raccoon, and I'm doing Copic markers, and I'm starting with C1, which is cool gray 1, and I'm doing it all over for the raccoon's body, and then I'm going to take C6 and do the shadow area, the darkest area, and my light is coming from the right hand side. Then I'll take my medium color, which is C4, and I'll actually color the right side and then blend it in with the C6 on the left side, and then finally go in back with my C1 to blend it all together. And then I make a little neck here using the different grays, and then I'm going to take a colorless blender right there, and I'm going to pull some color out to make his face kind of pop out. I'm going to do his belly spot with just 2 colors, not the darkest, not the C6, just the C1 and the C4. And then the same colors on his tail. That's C1, this is the darkest C6, and then some C4 back to C1. And then I actually took the C4 and did a little bit on the right there, to make it look like it was a little rounder. Okay, now I'm going to take my Stampin' Up! Black ink and a blender pen, and I'm going to pull some ink off the lid of my stamp pad, and I'm going to create some stripes. And the reason why I did a blender pen is because if I used a marker, it would come out way dark, and I wouldn't be able to see the shading of his tail underneath. So this way I just get a faint hint of a black color, and you can still see the shading of the tail. Now I stamped this cupcake in antique linen so that I would be able to use Copics right on top of it. And I apologize for this getting blurry. I zoomed in a little bit too much. But you can kind of get the idea here. I've got 2 different colors on the cupcake wrapper, 2 colors on the cupcake frosting, and then I used a Stampin' Up! Marker to do the cherry. 2 different markers, the red and the green. And here's where it kind of made it look a little realistic, as I took that chocolate chip marker and I drew the lines of the cupcake liner. Just a little bit of grass so it doesn't look like he's floating. Now I'm going to adhere that to my blue piece. And I'm going to create this little tag hole. So what I did was I punched with my hand punch that 1/16 of an inch hole. Then I did the circle punch. And then I used a 2A glue pen to put it on there. And now I'm going to go back and punch that hole that's in there through the tag itself right there. putting my from and to on the back, and I didn't have a from and to that I really liked, so I just used individual letters to stamp them on there, and I made a big space in between them because I always have my kids put their friends' names on there, and sometimes they write it a little big. Anyway, so there you have it. It's pretty easy. I made 4 different versions, 4 different animals. Would make a great gift for a young mom who's always going to birthday parties like me. You just grab a tag and put on a present. So anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.